got my boy Dan back. And Dan, I had a thought Saturday. I was talking to one of your dear friends, acquaintance of mine, but we were doing this mission fishing on Saturday. And Tony Davis, I don't know how he got there, but first, I don't really know him, but he's fun because I got to really talk smack to him, right? And we may see that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree when we bring his son in a little bit. Anyways, Tony has how would you describe his son's situation, Josh's situation, before I quote this verse here?
What do you mean?
Okay, Josh is I see him. That 16-year-old young man is stuck in a chair. Exactly what is his situation? What is Josh's situation?
I know he's got cerebral palsy. I'm just not sure the specific type of cerebral palsy. So from what I know, and I've heard it time and time again, but it doesn't always come to mind. But I know he wasn't supposed to live very long.
Right.
I know he was supposed to be nonverbal.
Right.
I know that there was a lot of limitations that were placed on him. And although he's in a chair and although he has to eat through a G-tube, he's still able to enjoy many different aspects of life. And so he's funny, right? The doctor said that he's not going to talk, and he talks a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm going to be so rude to stop you because I got to say this before you go on. I am such a jerk that I might be like, I'm not watching this. Let me click. If you are that guy, put your remote down. Keep watching, douche. Watch it. I'm with you. Yeah. All right? This is going somewhere. Not another one of those, a story about a kid in a chair. This is my free time. I'm not doing this, okay? Let me put on something about fishing or strongman. No. Listen. It's not that long. Listen, jerk. I'm talking to you, mirror. And the reason why I'm doing this because there's incredible encouragement with Josh.
Right.
This isn't like, okay, I don't have a kid in a chair. No, there's so much encouragement. You're going to see it in a minute. But sorry to interrupt you like that. So we're going to get more about his situation. But this happened when Tony, he talked about, and let's just read it. In John chapter 9, verses 2, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? And Jesus replied, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed in him, right? So that's kind of where I want to personalize this is maybe we don't have a kid like Josh to raise, but you got something. We all got something, right? It could be you were abused, or you don't like your height, or you struggle with math, or you have a reading disability, whatever it is. You got something, and yet you may be really frustrated and angry at God. Well, here's a dude that was born blind that God might be glorified. I think he has the right to be, if you do, he has the right to be really upset. I just want to dig deeper into this and then kind of see, as believers, how are we supposed to view these things that God has either caused or allowed, right? So back to Josh, what do you see? What are some of the things you see with Tony and Allie as siblings? Well, you said as Christian and Austin. Yeah. Now, give me some of the things you've seen like in their family where there's a benefit. I'm sorry, one last thing.
Yeah.
We're doing this with the lens that Josh is going to listen to this.
Yeah.
And Josh is not going to think, well, it caused him so much trouble, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, there's trouble, but look at the blessing and the benefit too as well. What are you seeing, Dan?
So the first thing that comes to mind is like when Paul talks about the thorn in his flesh. Okay. And how that thorn draws him closer to God. And so when I think about the Davis family, I've been a part of their family for 15 years.
Okay.
And I've watched, I'll start with their son, Christian. Their son, Christian, is he's an incredible man. And watching the compassion that's been developed in him, the selflessness, the servanthood, how he loves his brother and how he serves his family. Josh's disability, where most might look and go, oh my gosh, I could never.
Right.
And from a natural perspective, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. I've watched tough times with them, but I've also watched how he's almost been, in some ways, like glue for the family.
Okay.
Like he's at the center of the family, and his situation has changed them all. I've watched Tony and Allie go through ups and downs with Josh, and in those times, it's drawn them closer together and closer to God. And now it hasn't been perfect, right? A situation like this can cause frustration, just like when we raise our kids.
Yep.
Sometimes we go back and forth with our spouse, but watching Josh overcome some of the obstacles that were set on him where he couldn't talk and he wouldn't live very long, watching him live the full life also gives them a picture of like God's goodness and like hope in tough situations. Something like mission fishing. Had this never happened, like Josh's story is being used to not only benefit him and his family, but many others in similar situations like his. And so although Josh might, and I think he does, but might not always realize the impact that he has, people are literally being changed because of Josh's story and the vision that he put on God and RJ, or Tony and RJ's heart to start mission fishing. And so it started this incredibly effective nonprofit. It's drawn their marriage closer together. It's helped their family in some ways that they might not have been able to be helped with, some of the fruits of the Spirit, some of the selflessness, some of those types of things. But also not even just in that realm, but the joy he brings to all his friends. Like the amount of people that get joy hearing Josh just laugh or rubbing his head or watching him clown and make fun of people. Like I was telling you, he's every bit of a teenage boy. He's not, sometimes there's this like, and rightfully so, people are a little bit hesitant to engage, but when you engage with him, you see life in Josh. Like Josh isn't some kid in a chair that's just, oh, poor me. Josh enjoys life. Right before I came in here with you, we're out back fishing, and he's catching fish, and he's laughing, and he's having a blast. Like when you would look at a kid in a chair and with his kind of condition, you wouldn't think that something like that would be happening. But it does. So I watched not only some of the struggles and how those tough times have produced fruit in their lives, but the joy that he just brings with his laughter and how his life has brought his family closer together and has brought this great community around him. And the story doesn't end there. His parents, as well as another couple that we're friends with that has a son in a similar situation, have a vision to help other individuals as they start to age out, right? Because at some point, he's going to be an adult. And at some point, he's going to, we want to produce an environment where they can contribute and feel like
productive.
They're not, they're productive. They're not just stuck. And so where it started with their family and now it's trickling into mission fishing, there's other opportunities to continue that story and to continue to impact people all around them. And so where this thing, it's like, sometimes we get in these situations where it's like, how can God use something like this? This is so tragic. And it's like God sees the whole picture, and he's like, I'm going to get glory through this. And not only is it going to be a good life, it's going to be one that pours into everybody else as well. So his story is literally sharing the gospel with individuals, and it's great.
And what is it they say? Always share the gospel and sometimes use words. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I use this example often, and this is not in the Bible, but it helps me understand biblical principles. I paint this vision of, if it was this way, if you had the souls of Allie and Tony and Josh, and it's Austin and Christian. Imagine these souls in heaven. And there's an angel that's going to read to them a little bit about what their lives are going to be like. I'm sending you down to these wombs, down on earth. Let me give you a little insight on what your life is going to be like. And let me read this to you. And he's going to say, okay, Allie, you're going to be married to this guy, Tony. And I don't know Tony well. I was thinking, but Tony, you're going to love food so much that you're going to need to lose 70 pounds in 2025. That's who you are. Get the picture, Tony. I don't even know Tony. I'm going to get it so bad now, right? But then he gets to Josh and he says, and I'm going to have you in a chair the whole time. Imagine, wait, what? I don't want to do that. Give it to Christian. And there's something in God that says, well, this is kind of what I intended, right? So I don't pretend to know the different wills of God or how all that works, but I do know if something is happening, God allowed it, right? So it's either his, as some people say, it's his permissive will, his perfect will, it's the providence of God. We can go into that for 2 hours, but the bottom line is God has allowed Josh to be in his situation. And so let's go Romans 8:28. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord. Let's just start looking for the good. And so you look at it in the realm of like eternity, you're literally on earth and off so fast. Just roll with what God has intended. Sometimes you see families like the Davises struggling, yes, but they're all in. Lord, if this is what you got, let's do it. They're like Joshua and Caleb before they went in to the promised land. And others are kicking and screaming, and I just can't take this anymore, and I don't want to live anymore. You know, it's you choose your perspective. So yeah, it's simple. I want to do this now. You can edit this out if you want. Danny, can you come sit here? I thought of you. You can edit this out, right?
Yeah, what's up?
It's even better if you don't edit this part out. But if you don't like this part,
sure,
then you can edit it out. That's the way I'm looking at it. It's actually funny.
Am I gonna hop on the mic?
Yeah, I think you should. And I'm hoping you got big enough balls that you don't edit this part out, because I think this is awesome, right?
All right.
And I just thought of you a few minutes ago, because I think you did a whole podcast on this, I noticed you deal with a stutter,
Yes.
right? Now, will he edit this out? Don't tell the world that.
Wait, let's make sure that I'm in the frame. I'm totally open to talk about this stuff.
And hold on. And I'm really hoping you struggle with getting the mic correct, fixing the camera. Please don't make this look slick, Rick. Right?
All right.
So I didn't even plan to do this. Not in my little notes here. Plus, I can't read them anyways without glasses. What's the point? What are some of the benefits and the frustrations being a man of God dealing with a stutter?
So, man, there's actually so many benefits even before the frustrations come to my mind. The first things first, the ego check at the door every single time I talk to anybody is huge.
Right.
For some reason, when I'm on a podcast or I'm talking more formally, even on stage, I'm fine.
Okay.
But
it's like singing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you saw me out there trying to talk to your family, and I can't even get the words out.
Right.
So I don't exactly know what causes it, but I do know it humbles me every single day. I'm a naturally confident person.
Right.
And when I can't even say my name when introducing myself, it makes me just go, okay, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy.
Right.
So that's some benefit. The con is long time struggling with an extreme lack of self-confidence.
Okay.
Yeah. And
That's the obvious. Is there a point where you're like, you know what? Like, God, why? Why did you let this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And did it to what point? To you're like, I'm not even sure I'm going to even believe in this whole God thing. Like or is it like, well, I trust you, Lord, but not really. I didn't want to talk to you about this. Or did you make demands with God? Say, listen, kind of until this goes away or this gets fixed, I'm not ready to move forward and, doing things for you. Like what level of frustration and how did it really rock your faith or test your faith?
It always just made me have a lot of self-hatred, like a lot. Like I've always believed in God, even since I was a kid. I've never once had a period where I wavered in my belief.
Okay.
But I would just ask God to be like, God, just make me mute. Just take away my speaking overall. Like, why do I even have to try to talk? Just take it away. Stuff like that.
Okay.
Stuff like I'll be alone forever. Stuff like nobody understands this.
Right.
Yeah. It always goes back to self-judgment.
Okay.
For me, at least.
Where are the benefits? Like, is there some way people are like, I should give this guy a tip? Or like, have you ever?
Oh yeah. I worked a lot of service jobs. I get so many tips. Oh yeah. The pity tips go hard.
Service people out there, learn to fake a stutter.
Yes.
Fake a stutter.
Very, very effective.
All right. Sweet. Dan,
I wish I stuttered once during the interview so they believed me, but
no, that's even better. You know what? I can attest for it. The guy stutters, right?
yeah, it's true.
Bottom line. Homie, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please leave it like that. That's even better. Point is all of us got something, right? And literally, it's the old Indian adage, it's the wolf you feed. Like, are you going to feed the wolf that says, yeah, I got the thing, but I'm going to use the thing for God's good? I have something to read, a quote from, I got to go glasses on this one, these cheap, 50-cent glasses. I'm going to read a quote from Elizabeth Smart. If you don't know who she is, she was kidnapped many years ago, over 20 years ago, I believe. At 14 years old, she was taken out of her room. Very wealthy family, and she was taken out of her room, and she was just treated horribly. You can imagine. If you want to look up the details, go ahead. But it was terrible things happened to her, this guy that took her. And Elizabeth Smart, I can't remember how long she was held. I think it was about 6 months. But here's her quote. "I never thought I would say that I'm grateful for what happened to me as a 14-year-old girl, but I can honestly say I'm not sorry it happened to me because of what it has allowed me to do and the people I've been able to meet and the cause that's become such a large part of my life." Dude, when I heard that, I was rocked. So no matter what your deal is, and I'm in a room, someone has described before as if they use this analogy as if you're so frustrated with your life and you're just reaching out to God, you've got a stutter, or you're, Josh's situation, and you just want to come before God and say, I can't take this cross I'm to bear. And you guys know where I'm going with this. And God says, fine, come on up in this room, pick out any cross you want. And you look through the whole room, and of course you take the smallest one, and God says, well, that was yours. And so remind yourself of that story we've all heard many times, and have value in those people that are right around you that have unbelievable frustration and suffering that you can't go next level and just deal with it. And actually thank God in it. Like, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, in everything give thanks. This too, yeah, that's the biblical principle. All right, so you talked about mission fishing, and I remember RJ telling a story. It was Tony talking about taking his kid fishing. RJ said, just get him to the dock. But RJ has mentioned as well, he was in an airport and he saw there was a girl with a very similar situation. He never approached her. If the story I remember correctly, never approached her, but he just broke down in tears, right? His heart was broken for her situation. And that girl never knows what an impact she had. Josh does a little bit, but not really. He doesn't understand the trickle effect of, like, Josh doesn't know about the stories from this Saturday that happened with the 5 boats that were there. Right. He doesn't know about the families. He may hear a good thing happen Saturday, but does he know the exact good things, the interaction between the families and then the stories afterwards and the connections later? Like, there's so much going on, such good collateral benefit to whatever trouble you're going through. It seems like, Dan, this might be a good time if you want to bring Josh in. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Let's
go
do
grab
it.
him.
All right. Let me move that one. I've been doing a couple podcasts with Dan, and I said, Dan, how about Wednesday night? And Dan's like, I think that's going to work. I think I'm going to be with Josh, right? I was like, okay. And Dan is like, well, why don't we roll with Josh? I said, that'd be awesome. And so everything's kind of worked so that you came. Thank you very much, because we got to schedule all these cameras and lights and stuff. And then it was so cool that it all worked out. So here he is. So Josh, it's important that you understand, we kind of laid the ground rules as you were outside fishing, right? We laid the ground rules that everyone is handed some difficulty on their plate, but hopefully you understand and you comprehend what a blessing your, quote, difficulty is to so many. It's like a blessing and a curse, as they say. Everyone's got a blessing and a curse. Maybe you're incredibly intelligent, but you might not want to listen because you think you can figure it out. So yeah, you're stuck in a chair, but you've given so many people such benefit that I want to get to know you a little more personally. Dan, Josh, what are some ways you would describe Josh? Tell me a little bit about his sense of humor, right? What are some things that personalize Josh?
So the first thing that comes to mind, and when you were talking about how people don't realize the impact,
right?
Or how we don't know, Josh might not always realize the ripple effect. Josh loves people.
Yeah.
Like, there's something about him. He always asks about my kids, my wife.
Right.
When somebody is going through a hard time, although he laughs when people get hurt, he thinks it's funny when people get hurt.
I love that too for some reason.
Yeah, he does. He genuinely cares about people.
Right.
He loves people. He's funny. And so he has his own little way. He's a crap talker.
Right.
Okay. So he'll notice things, like a friend of ours drives horrible, and he always laughs because this person drives terrible and is always late.
Right.
Another one of our friends can't see real well, And so he constantly reminds me that this person can't see.
Right.
Another one of our friends is a little heavy, and so he's part of his name is fat. So
Interesting.
And there's another part of Josh where a lot of people might not, they might look at his situation and go, that's so sad. But like Josh is also like a ladies' man, and
Interesting.
So Josh has seemed to accumulate multiple different little girlfriends that he's been taken to prom. He's been taken to the beach on dates. Whenever he loves ice cream, so we take him out to ice cream often.
Right.
And he gets a whole crowd of people around him. So if I can think of like one word or just like an idea that kind of encompasses Josh, he's probably one of the strongest individuals that I've met.
Right.
Because although he has his ups and downs, all the adversity that he's been through, God's gifted him with this unique ability to...
There's no quitting that dog.
None. I mean, if you knew the amount of surgeries he's had to go through, and even recently, he had major back surgery. What was it, last year, Josh? Yeah. He had major back surgery to help straighten his spine out.
Dude, Josh, you rock. You know how many people that could be watching this or should watch this? There's so much quit in them. What kind of dog is that? There's no quit in this dog.
None.
So, yeah, we talked earlier about like redefining strength. In the other episode, we were talking about how some guys see it as weakness to come into a men's Bible study and share and be vulnerable, right? Okay, let's run this through. If that's difficult to do, it means few people are doing it. That looks like strength to me, because strength to me, I define it as something that few can do, right? So if Josh here, you said he's strong. Why? Like, why do you say he's strong? Because there's no quitting a dog. So in other words, well, let me ask, how often do you see Josh like depressed, head hung low, doesn't want to go anywhere? Like he's human, but in other words, it probably, are you saying less than others?
Way less. Josh wants to live life, okay? And so he doesn't, from my experiences with him, he's always eager to go and experience things in life.
Right.
So whether, like I told you when we got here, when we pulled up for the podcast, the first thing he said when we parked is he goes, "Let's do this." Okay?
I love it.
So whether it's that Friday last week, he came and he supported my daughter when she was at her band recital.
Okay.
He loves going to the events at school, being a part of those.
Right.
Anytime there's a football game or something like that, he wants to be a part of it. Josh wants to go and experience as much life as he can.
Right.
So it's not like it's something that's like, woe is me, as much as it's like, it's this unique ability he has to just kind of see past that,
right,
and want to engage with people and live his life to the fullest.
Right.
Which honestly for me, and he might not know this, but the times that I get to spend with him, it's convicting.
I'm so convicted right now myself.
The little things that kind of keep us down, and it's like, oh man, this happened and this happened.
I'm so convicted.
Being present in the moment and enjoying every bit of it.
Right.
I mean, that's Josh. He wants to be a part of, he just wants to live.
Right.
And with all of the adversity that he's faced, it doesn't hold him down. And it doesn't keep him like trapped where some might look and say, oh, well, he's stuck. Josh is probably more free than most of us.
Dan, tell me about that.
Well, you said something too, and I want to emphasize this. You said something about when we were able, like that whole picture of like, hey, if God brought us up and said, pick your cross.
Yeah.
You said this to me a long time ago, and some of the assignments that we get, I think God understands, like in Scripture where he talks about he's not going to give us more than we can bear.
Right.
This is a demonstration not only of Josh's strength, but of his family's strength. Because where this would probably crumble most people,
right,
their family and Josh hasn't not only persevered,
right,
but they've thrived and they've turned it into something good. So when we look at individuals like this sometimes with pity or judgment,
right,
it's more so like we should shift that focus to admiration for the weight that they carry.
Right.
And there's stuff that I have no clue about that Allie and Tony have dealt with and Christian and Austin have dealt with throughout their lives and the complications that situations like this cause.
Right.
But it hasn't stopped them. But when it comes to the freedom that Josh has, like a lot of the nuances that we get caught up in, Josh doesn't get caught up in that. Like when I talk to Josh, it's when are we going to go get ice cream again?
Right.
What's going on with this person? How is this person? Like he's always focused on
right,
the next best thing? Like, how can we enjoy life to the fullest,
right,
and not allow this situation to keep me stuck?
Right.
He doesn't sit and go, oh man, I can't. It's like, hey, let's go. Even getting into the room back here, where some might go, oh yeah, I just go walk into the garage.
Right.
Like, oh, well, he's in a chair. I don't know how. No. Let's just make it happen.
Right.
Whatever we got to do to make life happen, let's make it happen. And he enjoys it and he thrives in it. And his strength, again, it inspires others.
Dude, that is so cool. So I always think that blame is lame, right? And so if you have this complaint with God, again, you're blaspheming God, because you're literally saying whatever God has allowed or caused should not have happened or gone down. So that's blasphemy. So if you can start to see Josh, here's the thing. It's very convicting to me right now. I hope it is just as convicting tomorrow at 9:37 when I'm so pissed about an overcharge on something. So in other words, this is work. It's one thing to like sit here now and be like, yeah, man, I'm so convicted, But tomorrow, am I so convicted? It's work to say, dude, remember Josh came to my house and it was so encouraging. Why am I so upset at 9:37? Like, grow a pair.
Well, to that point, I want to emphasize something, because I experienced this, and probably many of us do. The absence of these interactions can lead to complacency and contentment.
What do you mean by that?
So I'll give you an example. A few weeks ago, I was able to go and minister to individuals that were incarcerated. And
don't say minister, say hang out.
Hang out.
Yeah, it's too Christianese, please. Not at this card table.
I went,
See?
And when I left, I was like, man, like this was a fresh reminder of God's grace, of the blessings that I have,
right,
but also the work that he's doing behind closed doors. And so watching a podcast and walking away, or like when people just go to church and walk away, or you go do some kind of kind act and walk away, I think Jesus wants us to be constantly engaged in these type of interactions, whether it's spending time with individuals who are less fortunate than us.
Okay, hold on.
Because that keeps it very fresh.
I'm interrupting
and real.
you because you're onto something here. So, Dan, this is great. If I want to no longer be fat, eat this. If I want to be strong, train like this. If I'm so tired of being complacent and depressed and sad and focused on myself all the time, go serve somebody.
Right.
Okay. So until you're doing these steps, please stop complaining. Because again, go back to people you work with. I would say one of the action steps is, okay, can you just tell me, where were you serving this week?
Right.
Well, I've been looking, but right now I'm not really in a place to serve. What? This is like an incredible action step if you find you're in some head funk, right? Because once you find out, like, oh my goodness, that dude's got this, that lady's got that, I ain't got none of that. What was I complaining about?
Right.
And Josh is happy, so happy that he's yucking it up over there, right? There's the inspiration.
Right.
There's your action step. If you don't want to be fat, stop eating. There you go. That's how you...
It's hard not to...
Wait. Like your dad. Hey, Tony.
It's hard not to worship God and see his goodness when you're putting yourself around his work.
Yeah.
So the absence of that kind of lends to that selfish kind of mindset.
Right.
But it's what Scripture says: love God and love others, so fulfill the law.
Right.
Right. And even in that, it was crazy because I sent you a podcast earlier this week, and in that podcast, it was talking about pride, and it was talking about this really got me, where it said pride is usually like arrogance and full of yourself. That's what we conceptualize it as. But the other part of pride that I really didn't fully grasp until I heard this was when we get so focused on self and the woe is me, that's a whole nother form of pride. And to kind of rectify that, it's getting your focus off of yourself in general. It's getting yourself off or your focus off yourself when it comes to how good you are or how bad you are, and putting it on God and others.
Right.
And that's when you really start to find that joy. When I look at Josh, he's extremely happy. I don't think he wakes up and he goes, man, this stinks. I think he wakes up and he goes, okay, when do I get to go to school? When do I get to see my friends? When do I get to see my teachers? What are we doing after this? He's excited about everything that God has for him, not the situation he's necessarily in.
Not checking how many Instagram followers he has. Okay, got it. Now, this is very cool. It's much appreciated. Josh, thank you so much for coming. This is next level. I can't wait to send you a link of this bad boy, and he's going to do what with it, Dan?
He will watch it over and over again.
Yeah, boy.
2 things that Josh really loves. He loves watching CCA graduations, and he loves birthdays. Happy Birthday is Josh's favorite song. Right, Josh?
Oh, I guess he hasn't heard Tool yet. We're going to play Tool for him.
Heck yeah.
And hopefully his dad doesn't kill me for teasing him too much. But no, that's really cool. That's next level cool. Thank you very much, Josh, and thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for sure.
it, man. Appreciate it.